Welcome to the Sermon in the Valley with Pastor Rob Eller. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with your friends and family. Thank you. Welcome back to the Sermon in the Valley, everybody. Pastor Rob Eller here with your Thursday episode. Today, I'm going to continue with my mini-series called The Gospel According to Ted Lasso. For those of you who aren't familiar with the show, Ted Lasso is a show on Apple TV Plus about an American college football coach taking a job as a soccer coach in England. It is worth the watch. It is worth the subscription to Apple TV Plus. You can even just get do a free trial and just binge watch all 3 seasons. It is totally worth it. So many great lessons in that show. Most people think it's a sports comedy. It's really not. It goes deeper than that. It goes so much deeper than that. So, in the first episode in the series, I talked about finding grace in grief. Today, I'm going to talk about, our plans in life. So often in life, we have all these grand plans of what we want to do. And, we have this checklist. We want to do everything on this checklist, because then once we have everything done, our lives will be perfect. And believe me, I've been there. I struggle with the idea of letting go. I need to be in control of everything. And it was when I started in seminaries when I realized, I need to start letting go of some of this control I want to have on my life. It was hard, and I really struggled with it all the way through seminary, right up to the very end when I was graduating and wanting to know where was I going to go for my first call. I had requested to stay close to where I was already living at the seminary because my family was familiar with the area. My wife had a job there, and I wanted to stay close, but I needed to be reminded by people to just let go. Things will work out the way they should, and really, honestly, they have. I couldn't have asked for a better place to be. I couldn't have asked for a better church. I couldn't have asked for a better area to live. My whole family loves it here, so just learning to let go. So, in Ted Lasso, and again, I'm going to spoiler alerts, because this is all based on things that have been said or done in episodes. So if you haven't watched, turn it off now and then come back after you're done watching. But if you have watched, this one comes from season 2. It's in the middle of season 2, and the football team that Ted Lasso's coaching, Richmond AFC, they're struggling. It's mid-season and they're struggling. And this is a really good quote that comes from episode 5 of season 2. This is Ted giving a pep talk in their dressing room before going to the pitch. I believe it might be even during halftime. I can't remember exactly. Again, I'm going to read it to you because I can't do the audio for copyright reasons. This is Ted saying this. Gentlemen, believing in rom-communism is all about believing that everything's going to work out in the end. Now, these next few months might be tricky. That's just because we're going through our dark forest. Fairy tales do not start, nor do they end in the dark forest. That son of a gun always shows up smack dab in the middle of a story. But it will all work out. Now, it may not work out how you think it will, or how you hope it does, but believe me, it will all work out. Exactly as it's supposed to. Our job is to have zero expectations and just let go. I wish I would have heard that a few years ago when I was stressing about first call. I wish I would have heard that, 6, 7, 8 years ago when I was struggling trying to find a teaching job. I wish I would have heard that then. To just let go It may not work out how we want it to, but it'll work out how it's supposed to. Truer words have never been spoken. And really, that ties into our prayer lives. When we pray, praying is really having what feels like a one-sided conversation with God. We're doing all the talking, waiting for God to answer. God will answer in His own way. But we pray wanting things to go this way or this or that way, thinking they need to go exactly how we want it because this is how it's supposed to go. But more often than not, it doesn't go the way we want it to. Our prayers aren't answered how we want them to be. But that doesn't mean they're not answered. They're answered in a way that's more appropriate for us. It'll work, as Ted said, it'll all work out. Not as we want it to, but as it's supposed to. That's the way life works. We can't control everything. Everything will fall into place as it should. We just have to believe that it will. Just let go of all that pressure and just let it happen. Life is tricky. There's no doubt about it. Life is very tricky. We want things to happen a certain way. But it won't. And that's just how life works. We can't expect everything to work out the way we want it to. We just can't. We just need to believe. And that's actually a big thing within the show Ted Lasso. I mean, I could do a whole separate episode on this, but I think this kind of goes right into it. In their dressing room, in the show, the dressing room for the team, above the door leading to Ted Lasso's office is a yellow paper with the word "believe" written on it. Because that's what Ted's whole shtick, the power of belief. Believing things will work out, believing that this is what we need to do. If you just believe, everything will happen as it's supposed to. We may not like it, we may not understand it, at least not at the moment, but everything will happen as it's supposed to. Letting go is tough, believe me. We want to have control over everything in our lives. We want to know when everything's going to happen, how everything's going to happen. We want to plan everything out to a T. I'm a kind of person who when I go on vacation, I have to have everything planned out. Like, okay, day one we're going to go here, 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 and here. Day two we're going to go here, 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 and here, or do this and do that. I'm the kind of person who needs to plan everything out in advance. I have a hard time letting go and just flying by the seat of my pants. I have a hard time doing that. I mean, I was a jazz musician, amateur. I played in college. I played in high school. I played for a little bit when I was in middle school in a semi-professional big band that my dad was in. And I can tell you, high school, college, one of the toughest things as a jazz musician, one of the toughest things for me was improvising. I like having my music in front of me. I like being able to play what's written. You tell me to improvise, oh boy. Everyone says I do good at it, but I don't think so. Because I have a hard time letting go and just doing. When I was in a high school jazz festival, a kid from a neighboring school, he and I played the same instrument. I was fretting about, I gotta follow the chord structure and all this stuff, and he's like, to heck with the chord structure, play how you feel. it really hit me because it's like, okay, play how I feel. It's hard. It's hard letting go and just having a free-for-all. But when you let someone else take over, when you let something else go into control, you realize, okay, it may not sound good right now, but it'll all work out in the end. It'll all come together at the end. I think this bears repeating one more time. This is the last part of that quote. It will all work out. Now, it may not work out how you think it will or how you hope it does, but believe me, it will all work out exactly as it's supposed to. Our job is to have zero expectations and just let go. Our job in life sometimes is to just let go and let things happen as they're supposed to, and not have such control over it, wanting it to happen the way we want it to. It's tough, but many times it's what's for the best. Once again, thank you for joining me for this podcast. I really enjoy doing this. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Share this with your friends and your family. Anyone who you think needs to hear this good news. God's peace be with all of you. Have a blessed day.